Hey guys, my name is Rudy, and today we're going to talk about my arcade machine. I'm going to work on rebuilding this one here. Going to flip it over here. So this is Exhibit A. This is my second arcade machine. I'll show you the buttons. We went over this in some other videos. You can check out the links from that. And what we want to do here is, you can see this one is a little bit neater. If you roll it over here, turn it the other way so I don't destroy my keyboard down here. This one back here is a little bit neater. It's running off of a Nook and some wires and a couple adapters, and down here is even storage. So everything is in here. So that was my second machine. It's kind of what I wanted to start with, or what I actually wanted to do. My very first one I didn't really document, and it was part of my first experiment. If I can turn around over here, I think I'll just roll this out of the way here. And you can see this is my first machine. Pretty much every button and everything else that could possibly be done, I've done to this thing. But what we're going to do is, it's running off of Linux. It's going to continue to run off of Linux. The other one's running off of Windows. We're just going to go through and talk about what it had and what it will have and kind of set it up. You feel free to kind of fast forward through some of the stuff that you're not interested in the video, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, I'm going to try to find us a good spot here, and we're going to talk about what was in here and what will be in here. So what happened is, if you can see in here again, this used to have a motherboard in here, and we're going to be taking all that stuff out. Okay, so out comes, obviously, memory sticks. We had a USB port card in here. We had a Sound Blaster Audigy with the connector. We also had a SATA adapter card because the drives are a little larger. And we had another one. This is the one part that actually concerns me here as we were building this one, because this new design definitely has a lot of ports. So what we're going to do is we're going to unplug the VGA cable, and we're also going to remove it here from the top so you guys can see a little bit better. We're going to unscrew it from the top here as well, and we're going to drop it. This is an excellent card. We're really going to use that, except we're going to use the other adapter on it. This right here is the amp. This controls from the monitor. Like I said, great little card. We're going to disconnect the power connector here. What happened is this thing kind of stopped working. I don't know if the board blew up or if the CPU, one way or another. I just decided to make things a little bit easier on myself. For those of you guys that hadn't seen me in a while, you can see I look a little tired. I'm just recovering. Got done taking some classes, and now it's time to catch up on all my stuff. So this thing had 3 SATA cables. Those are going to be gone as well. And let's get this power thing out here. Oh yeah, the power thing has. I'll try not to move the camera here. This was an older school power supply. Power supply was actually good. I did test that. Like I said, board turns on, doesn't post. So anyway, time for an upgrade. So power supply also no longer there. And here's what we're going to recycle. I got a DVD. Actually, might be a Blu-ray. And I have two old school disc 1 and disc 2. These things are great. They got the blinking lights, and that just still looks pretty awesome. You can connect them right up here with either a SAS connector or a power connector MOLNET and a SATA. The first drive holds all of the operating system stuff, and the second drive is a backup for all the stuff. We're going to recycle that as well. So now we're going to untwist this stuff out of here. I think I freed most of everything earlier. Or maybe not. Let's see here. Release the zip tie. Okay. I really wish on days like this that I had a camera person to give you a little bit better view as to what we're doing. We're going to do also a big summary on this thing. So VGA cable, that's out as well. And we're going to pull out, oh, we got to cut this thing out. Bear with me while I get my pliers. I had the motherboard sealed in here on two little boards. You can see I built these two little shelves here. One's actually down here on the floor, and little offsets to keep the board from touching. That's kind of the way this thing was set up. Okay. Let's see here. ATI graphics card, because the Linux machine absolutely hated NVIDIA for some odd reason, now known as AMD. And with a couple of clips, the motherboard will be coming out. Okay. Right down here. So then I'm going to remove the offsets, which are right here. Those I'm going to recycle as well. And I believe our motherboard is still sitting in with one strap here. We're going to cut that one. And this was the original setup. Now, I'll kind of give you a quick preview as to what we did or what we have here. Over here, change our angles. Okay, so these cables here, these are USBs. One is the PS2. Let's see. Yeah, player 2. And then you got, I'm going to have to really check how I put this in here. This is the trackball over here on this side. One of these is the other trackball, and it has two controllers that are in here. And this right here is the power cable, and this right here is the reset cable. All that we're going to reuse. Now we're going to try to get this thing rolling here with the new parts. So, what I'm planning on doing is I purchased a Nook off of eBay. These things are actually, you love them or you hate them. The great thing about this one is, through my work, I figured out that you can actually repair these fairly easy. They don't like to be unplugged, so if you short out the power pins in here, remove the battery, remove the RAM, put everything back in, everything still works. You can get them fairly cheap. I got this one off like 50 bucks off of eBay. It is a small risk to buy stuff that hasn't been properly tested, but that's kind of the small gamble you can take. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the Nook. And the power connector on here, on the power strip that we have. We're going to make this look pretty another time. I'm not going to bore you guys with those details. I do want to let you know that what you want to do in here is you want to unbolt these 4 screws, and there's a power and reset. It looks just like a tiny little board. I'll show you on the board here that I have. Inside of the small Nook, there is a section that looks a lot like this. The red is the reset, and the one opposite of it is usually the power. So the red is the power, the other one's the reset. These are wired to the 2 buttons up there. You can hit it from either side, and that's how you turn the thing off and on. And this is also another raw video because I have not done this before, so we're going to see what actually happens when I do this. So I did some shopping, and one of the things I bought was a HDMI to a mini HDMI, which is what Nook uses. So again, this is the long version of this thing. So what we're doing is we're going to connect the HDMI mini to this one here. And we're going to connect the big cable here. This thing's got a connector right here, which is awesome. Once it really figures out which direction it faces. It's a little tricky to get in here, but we tested this. We just haven't fired it up. There we go. Light turns green, must be good. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug in the keyboard. So I got my keyboard right here connected through. Give me a little bit of extra length. Just gotta make sure I got the right one. I'm going to use one of the USBs on here for that. And then we're going to unpack some of the other stuff that I got here. So one of the items that I needed is there's not a right amount of USB ports on here. I bought this USB hub off of Amazon. Each one has 1, 2, 3, 4 ports. It's actually a pretty cool little device. And we're going to connect that. Kind of get that rolling. And I guess we're going to make this look pretty at a later time. So, the one thing I really want to try out, and the thing that will make or break this project, is these SATA hard drive connectors. If you use a USB, if you notice the other computer, the other machine, has a computerized, a regular USB single cable setup. This one here, I'm going to recycle the original hard drives that came with it. And since the USB cable on its own doesn't have enough power to power that, you have to use one of these. Setup should be fairly simple. We're going to off check that, see if the lights come on or see if we get smoke. And of course the AC adapter. We're going to make all this look pretty. What we're going to do right now is we're going to connect the back of this. I'm just going to release the mess here. to connect this to the, let's connect this to the hub and see what happens. And we're going to connect the cable. This is emulating a SAS connection. Sitting in. You know, I'm a little nervous about this. I'm going to do this with the CD-ROM. I can afford to lose that one. So we're going to connect the CD-ROM same way. And we're going to connect this to one of our adapters here. And then, just for our purposes, let's connect the trackball. That'll be the other item I'll have on here. Hey, look. Okay, now we'll test this without the connector here. Flashes, but nothing happens. I think it needs the power to operate the rest of it. So we're going to plug that back in. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I trust this. I'm going to unplug it here and plug in my handy dandy arcade 1-up drive that has all my stuff. The drive is not the issue, it's all the time spent unloading or downloading all the ROMs. Okay, no lights so far. We're going to see how that works. So let's go up front and see what we got. Okay, we're going to reset this thing. And it's F2 for setup. And this brings us to the BIOS. And this might be the part where we will see what we get here. Let's do it legacy here. And this, I believe, is the hard drive that's in here. So we're going to have to test this out, do a little bit more testing, but that's kind of how we're going to do the setup. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to set up everything, and we're going to talk about how everything is set up. This will make it a little bit easier to watch, but that's just kind of what we're working on. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and look forward to the next episode where we'll put all this thing together. Till then, take care. Bye.